Yeah, so
I didn't know that her and Grandpa weren't together
no,
for the
for
first.
2 years until my grandpa got killed crossing the street. He had gone to what was it called? It was a little neighborhood. He had to walk pretty far. His stepbrother lived there, the Morenos.
Mm.
He went to go see him, and he was drinking that night. And they told him not to leave because he was too drunk. They told him to stay over, but he didn't want to. So he started walking home, and a big old truck, those big old semi-trucks hit him, killed him instantly.
Gee, girl.
But before that, it was weird because my mom said he had told her, why don't you marry Chewy? Which she called my dad Chewy. Marry him, because I'm not going to live too long. She goes, and I don't want you by yourself having different kids from different men. So when her dad got killed, I guess they were all at the funeral, and she winded up marrying my dad after all. I guess my
And
dad
at that time, it was just you.
It was me and Chiqui.
Okay.
So I wasn't really that close to my dad. See, because I never seen him, I didn't, wasn't close to him. I was scared of him.
You didn't know him that well.
No, I was scared of him, and I remember he used to hit my brother Chiqui a lot. Because my brother
Why
Chiqui,
do you think that I heard stories about that. Do you think that was because he wasn't his?
no, I think because Chiqui was really spoiled with my mom. And well, he was afraid of my dad. Look at the way my dad looked, like a damn German. And big
Like
old man with his hair cut way up here like German style. And I was scared of him. And she used to cry and right away get on my mom, and hold onto her leg. My mom would be walking, be dragging him on, and he would get mad and he would hit him. He would get the belt and spank him.
Chiqui at that time had to be like 5, maybe? Little, young, right? So did they ever have a good relationship? Did Grandpa ever accept him? Did he consider
I don't
him-
remember from that on I just remember him hitting him. I don't remember between that time. I remember that he got a job throwing newspapers, and then after that, I don't remember the rest. I don't.
So Chiqui never considered Grandpa his father. He didn't call him.
I guess not. But when he died, my dad called him and told him he was very sorry, to forgive him for being so mean with him when he was young. And Chiqui said, there's nothing to forgive. I love you. I've always loved you. My dad's tears were just coming out.
So did you guys stay in that house when they got married? Did they end up moving in together?
We used to live in an apartment where the freeway is right now.
The 605 or the?
What freeway is that? It goes right in back of the General Hospital.
The 105?
The 105 that you can get it and go to the county jail.
That is right up the 5.
The 5, I think it is. Yeah, we still live right there. There used to be apartments there. And we lived there. And I remember my dad always had people over playing cards, drinking. Mostly it was like your dad's godfather and godmother. They were always over.
Who was that?
What's her name?
Were those just friends of him and Grandma's?
Yeah. They baptized your dad and your mom. They baptized my sister.
It's funny because the only thing I remember about Grandpa was cards and drinking.
Yeah, he worked nights. He was a truck driver, and then he was a butcher in the meatpacking companies for years and years.
That's weird because my other grandpa was a butcher on my mom's side.
I think they knew each other.
Wow.
Yeah. And my dad used to always hang around with Jews.
With Jews?
Always Jews. Yeah, he never hanged around with different people, you know, like
He looks Jewish.
Mexican. He didn't. He hated the wetbacks.
He did.
Yes. But he always hanged around with Jews.
Hmm.
That's why he could talk really good English, and I mean, he was pretty intelligent, your grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing is that he had the drinking habit, you know. But he worked. He worked all his days of his life. He worked hard.
So aside, he was a butcher and a truck driver?
Mm-hmm. He started as a truck driver.
And then did he do that until he like retired or
Yeah,
something?
until
I didn't know that.
Well, he fell in an elevator at work. The elevator, something went wrong with the elevator, and he fell and he hurt his arm and his back. So he was off for a long, long time.
Let's talk about Grandpa a little bit. Do you know where he was born?
In, what did I tell you, El Paso, Texas?
Oh, El Paso, that's right. Can you tell me that story again? A little bit about his mom and her
What?
coming across the border to have him.
Well, his mom got pregnant from him, and they say that his dad was German, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it was Bass. I don't know. And before she had him, she crossed the border to have him over here in El Paso. And then she went back to Mexico and got pregnant and had another son. And I think she even had another daughter. I don't know anything about that. But she lived there for a while and then came back over here to California and moved with her sister in that little street that I told you named Lugo, where everybody lived there. They had it was like, what do they call it? A brickyard. They used to make bricks.
Mm.
And everybody worked there. They lived in that little area there. Everybody worked in that brickyard.
Is that off the 605 out by the 210, that whole big, the rock quarry
No.
out there? Oh, okay.
No. One of these days, maybe you come, I'll go show you where we lived.
Okay. I would love to see
Yeah.
that and get some photos of that.
Yeah. It's all company now, but there were homes there.
Do you know what brought Grandpa to LA?
Well, his mother came over here. His mother wanted to come and stay with her sister.
So she had a sister.
Yeah. Her sister's name was Cipriana.
Wasipliana?
Cipriana.
Interesting.
She was married to a man named Julian.
What was Grandpa's mother's name again?
Her name was Fernanda.
Fernanda Diaz?
Fernanda Martinez. They were Martinez.
And they were from Mexico, but we don't know which part.
No.
And we don't have any clarification on Grandpa's father, who he was, and
No.
exactly where he's from. And he never knew him or got to meet him?
No.
And none of you guys did? What was his name, do you know?
No.
Wow.
No, nothing.
That's crazy, huh?
I know.
So Grandpa stabbed one of his mother's lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And was that part of the reason he also needed to get out of El Paso? I mean, he was 16, right, when he did that?
He already lived over here.
Did the guy die?
Who died?
Did he die?
The man?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was nothing ever
No,
happened to him?
they said it was self-defense.
Because he was being abusive to
Because she said he was abusing her. He pulled her blouse and he hit her and all this stuff.
He was a teenager though, Grandpa at the time, right? Wasn't he like
Yeah, he
15
was
or
only
16?
16.
Wow.
But my mom said that man was very nice with her. He never hit her. But she was the one that made that story up.
Who was the one that made the story up?
That my dad's mom made the story up. That he had hit her. that the man had hit her boyfriend had hit her.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom said, we lived right next door. He never hit her. He was really nice with her. She was the one that was always going out with different men.
Mm. So do you think, we don't know the whole story. We don't know what happened.
So anyway, they got my dad for, what did I tell you, self-defense?
Manslaughter initially, but then it was
'Cause he
self-defense.
defended
He was
his
a
mom.
minor, okay.
Yeah.
And so no charges or anything were brought against him?
No, I don't know whatever that paper said, but they weren't charged. He wasn't charged. But,
So he came here to California with his mom.
mm-hmm. And it was so weird because my mom said it was a full moon and the man had a black top coat on. And it was summer. I go, why did he have a top coat on if it was summer? And she goes, well, they all used to wear those black coats. So she thought it was her dad because her dad had walked out with a top coat on. And she said she went and she turned the body over and she saw it wasn't her dad. That it was that man. I forgot his name. She told me his name, but I forgot his name. And she started calling my dad a murderer. And at that time, her dad, they were all drinking, they played cards on the weekend. Started walking, there was a railroad track in back of the homes. He started walking to the railroad track and the cops came and they went in to my mom's grandma's house to look for my grandpa. So they thought,
Out here in LA?
yeah, where I told them, the street.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to say it was him, that they had killed the man, shot the man. But my mom kept saying, no, it wasn't him, it was him. My mom pointed at my dad. And they took my grandma, she was pregnant still. She hadn't had the baby yet. They took her and put her in jail.
Why?
That's the way the cops were. And they picked up my grandpa and they put him in jail too. Questioning. It was the Hollenbeck Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom had a cousin which was married to this man that he was a musician.
Mm-hmm.
He played for the cops when they asked him to play, parties or family gatherings. Mm-hmm. He would play for them. So he knew the chief of police really good. So he told him, what do you have my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law in there, get them out of there. So they took him out. And that's when they arrested my dad for a while and they let him out for self-defense.
Interesting.
But I was telling my mom, man, that must have been a crazy night.
Yeah.
All that happening at one night.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What was she like, Grandma? Your mom? What do you remember about her, like personality traits or?
My mom was very hardworking, always watch her clothes, always making food. Especially for my dad, when he had people playing cards, she would make food for everybody. Always kept her house clean, always kept us clean, made sure we ate, took care of us,
Yeah.
But she never showed her love to us.
No?
She never hugged us and told us she loved us. She never kissed us. My dad, the same thing.
That's interesting.
So we were brought up, we knew that they loved us, but we weren't never told they loved